What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Coach Joyner's War Room. And like I said last week, we are going to be opening the mailbag that I posted in the thread from last week. And we got a couple responses from a couple people. Not as many as I would like, but hey, it is what it is. We're going to go with what we have. And for our first question from Kai Killens, we have 5 from Kai Killens. We got, what matchups are you most excited to see between two opponents in SimWorld Prep Pick 6? The 6 I picked was Philadelphia versus Queen City, because that I haven't been able to coach against Coach Dries, and I would like to before his time in SimWorld Prep comes to an end and he moves on. I would like to coach against him. I really like Monte Parsons' game. I would like to coach against him, have a game against him. I picked Europe versus Atlantis. I think those are the two international teams that I like the most. And I think that game will put just international talent is already on the map, but I think that game will put international talent really on the map, not only to just be a good bridge to get to college, but also they can win. Just show that they can win in SimWorld Prep with the talent that they have and the talent that they can get over in Europe, because they don't have the whole U.S. to work with. And then I also put the Yacht Club versus Bay Area. I want the former champions versus this new group of guys who are very engaged, very active. I want to see what they got against the best of the best. I like all those guys. Those are some of my favorite guys in prep right now. And I want to see them go against the best. That's it. I also have Bay Area versus Houston, because I want to see that big boy Walter Eugene IV versus Jick Lee. That matchup would be amazing to me. And I also have Philadelphia versus Lone Star. I think those two teams have a similar philosophy as far as their two star players. They have a guard and a big / wing. So I'll trade DeRozan and Daniel Irvin. Those two versus Brendan Gaucher and Monte Parsons. Those two matchups are going to be great. And either those stars are going to have to step up or the others are going to have to step up. And I think it's going to make for an amazing game. Next question is, what is your speculation for SimWorld Prep Newcomer of the Year? So I think a lot of people expect Brendan Gaucher's name to be put out there. And I think he is a name to look out for. But I like Henry Simpson from Gulf Coast Lockdown. I think he is going to get a lot more opportunity because his team doesn't have the main go-to scorer. So I think if he can come into the season and submit himself as that, he can be the main go-to scorer. While Brendan Gaucher has to share the ball with Monte, Henry, if he comes in scoring, he doesn't have to share the ball as much. I mean, obviously that's up to Coach Heach and his plans, but if he can come in and do his thing, I like what he can bring to that award. I think he'll be in conversations deep into the year. Next is, who do you believe is one of the lower rung coaches in SimWorld U, and who in prep currently coaching could take their head coaching position? See, I'm not going to put anybody as a lower rung coach, but I'll put 2 coaches that I think are on the hot seat if they have another disappointing season. And I think those 2 coaches are LSU's Mac McCohen and Tennessee's Rick Barnes. I think if they have another disappointing season, I think those 2 teams may look another way. And the 4 coaches that I like for that are Coach Heach, Coach Dries, Coach Lovelace, and Coach Dominguez. I think they've all proven they are active. They have the results of winning. I don't know what else there is to prove. Dries has made a finals. He lost that one. Same with Dominguez. Coach Lovelace has been a long-time person here in prep, a long-time coach here in prep, and I think it's time for him to go up. He has a good record. He's very active. His players respect him. I think he's a good option. And Coach Heath is another guy, very respected, keeps his locker room engaged, and is winning a lot. All right, just looked it up. Coach Dries was not a Last Dance finalist. I swear he was, but he wasn't. But my point still stands. He's well respected, has a lot of wins. I think he deserves to go to the next level. And I think if the job offer is good enough, he will go. Then his next question was, where would you rank the SimWorld U conferences in terms of competitiveness and versatility? So my ranking would be number 1, the ACC. I think they have about 5 teams that you could really go into this season really liking to win it all. Virginia Tech, Duke. Obviously, Duke lost some star power, but if coached right, they can still be a really good team. Louisville, Miami, North Carolina, Florida State. Those are 6 teams that I really like. Georgia Tech making 7, who I don't think can win it all, but I do think they may be able to squeeze in the hoops area. And then you have Wake Forest and Syracuse, who should come up the rankings a little bit. Next, I have the SEC. Alabama, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Mississippi State. Those 4 teams I think are going to be really good. And Mizzou, I think bringing in the freshman, I forget, the freshman big to play alongside Jafet Towns, I think they'll have a really good season too. Those are 4 teams that I think have a shot at making the hoops area as well. Next, we have the Big 12, not Big 10, Big 12 with Kansas, who's dangerous, Texas, dangerous, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma, who should come up a little bit. Iowa State, maybe. DJ Davis, I think he's something to be unlocked over there. So I wouldn't count him out. Next, I have the Pac-12. UCLA, they lost Jalen Snow. Not as confident in them, but I still like them as a team. So UCLA, Arizona, Cal, and UCS. Arizona, Cal, and UCS have some work to do to come up to that next level, but I think they can do it. Cal still has a lot of talent. I think they just need to put it together with Izzy Vines, Jason Tada. Like, they have the talent. Arizona obviously has Yams, bringing in Emilio Torres. I think they have their 1-2 punches. They just need to raise up to that next level. Next, we have the Big East. I think they probably wouldn't be this high if it wasn't for Villanova and Georgetown. I think the rest of this conference is pretty bare bones. I like Villanova. I like Georgetown. Butler and St. John's, I don't know if they come in as high next season, but I won't count them out. So this is why I still have them pretty high, because I won't count out Butler and St. John's. I think they still be good teams, but I don't know if they come in as good as they were last season. Next, I have the American Conference. Memphis, Jackson State, Princeton. SMU should take a big step up, and I think Davidson will too. I think they're being slept on. I think Houston will turn things around finally. So I think those will be some good teams to look out for. I think they'll be fun teams to watch. They're not as dangerous as the other ones, even if they might be deeper than the Big East, but I don't think they're as dangerous. The Big East is very top heavy with Villanova and Georgetown, who can win it all. I don't think anybody in the American can win it all, but I do think they can produce some very good games. Next, we have the Big Ten. Illinois and Minnesota are the only teams that I like here. Purdue lost their man. I don't know about them. Iowa lost their man. I'm not big on anybody in this conference as of right now. Maryland lost theirs. I don't know. I'm not big on anybody in this conference at the moment. And then the Mountain West, UNLV, San Diego State. I like those two. Gonzaga. Actually, I would switch those. Mountain West above the Big Ten, because I don't trust many teams in the Big Ten. I put them above them because I think Illinois has higher potential, but Mountain West is a bit deeper. It doesn't have that much higher potential than UNLV and San Diego State. So those would be my rankings of all the conferences. What's this next question? It's, where do you see the future of SimWorld Prep going with players engaging in the year-round schedule? I think with the year-round schedule, that will bring a lot more engagement. I think the less breaks in between games, obviously the better. Especially less long breaks in between games. Or in between game seasons, whatever you want to say. I think the more stuff we have going on, the more people want to engage. Because when things are slow, people tend to engage less. Obviously, we have our really engaged people who are going to lock in either way. But not everybody's going to be like that. Majority of us aren't going to be like that. But that's what we got to do. Like, the more games we can have, less time in between them, the more we can get people to engage and the more we can grow. That's what I believe will happen. Next, we have some questions from Coach Barry. He got, what prep coach has the most approved coming into this season? I think two, for similar reasons. Bay Area's coach over there, Brody Knight, and Shah Namdi for BOE. Brody is taking over. Coach Brody is taking over the team that just won the championship. Obviously, they have high expectations. They lost one of their star players, but they still have their main piece in Jake Lee, so they have high expectations. And with Beast of the East, I mean, they're just a cornerstone franchise coming off one of the greatest coaches. They want success, and they haven't known anything but success. So that's pressure to put on a new coach, and I think they're gonna have to prove that they can coach those teams. But I also think myself, I don't have as much as I have. Like I talked about earlier with Coach Streets in them, I have the respect from my players. I'm very active and engaged, but I don't have the records of those guys. I want to be those guys that I mentioned that can go up to the next level as early as next year. Or you could call them up now if you wanted to. But as much as I want to be on their level, I don't have the wins that those guys have. They have plenty more wins than me. So I think I have a lot to prove as well. And that's just the pressure I put on myself because I want to be like them. I want to be in the conversations that they're in. And I'm going to be. You'll see this season. We're going to be good. Next, we have what prep player has the most approved this coming season? I think it's Lone Star's Daniel Irvin. I think he has been very vocal about how he wants to be the best as far as just being a star on his team. Maybe not the best player in the whole league, but he has said time and time he wants to be a star player. And I think the last two seasons his first season he was just a role player. The next season he was a starter who showed some good flashes. But I think this team he's on now is really built to help him be the guy. So I want to see him finally take that jump and be the guy. In these runs, he has shown a lot of stuff. Dunking, shooting threes, creating his own shot, getting some passes off. I think he is ready to be that guy. It's up to whether he can do it or not. And then also, another guy, Tyrone Blackman over here in Queen City. Obviously, he has been talking a lot, and he has a lot of eyes on him. He has a target on his back, and he's going to have to prove everything he's been saying. I believe in him. I mean, I brought him in. Obviously, I wouldn't have brought him in if I didn't believe what he's saying. But he's going to have to prove that he's that guy he's saying he is. Or all those people that he's talking trash to, they're going to come right back. And I think he's ready. He's a shorter guy, but he is ready to ball out. What prep player is good but quiet when it comes to media? I think we have a couple of those quiet guys. First one to come to mind is Jake Lee and Trey DeRozan. Those guys are really good, but if I had to pinpoint the last time I really heard from them, I don't know off the top of my head. I would love to hear from them. They're really good guys. So I would love to hear from them and even get them on the show, get them on any show. So I think those two guys are probably the best players we have in the league that don't really engage with the media. And who are your favorite players that aren't all in the media for prep? One of my favorite players in this whole league is KJ Hills. He's a really exciting player to watch, and he's let me think. He's probably my favorite player that's not on my team. He's probably my favorite player. Yeah, I really like KJ Hills. He creates his own shot. I think he scores like a professional. I think he's ready for SimWorld U now. but he's obviously coming back for one more year, and I'm really looking forward to playing against, coaching against him, or just watching him play in general. I really like his game. Another guy is Jacoby Walker out of Run DMV. Everybody knows I have a huge Maryland I won't call it a bias, but other people might. I have a huge Maryland bias. And Jacoby Walker is a very good big man that I really like. 13 points per game, five boards, 51% from the field. Like he's a very efficient big man that I like watching. I am a fan of bigs. I like bigs, and I'm really a fan of the old school back to the basket big, who can work in the post. And I don't think we have many of those left. A lot of the power forward position is being ran out by just running two small forwards, which, I mean, it brings success, but I think when we can get just a team that runs the old school style, it results in good things. And I think Jacoby Walker will be somebody that has to play in that old school style in order to really be effective. But I really like him. So Jacoby Walker's and KJ Hills. Those two I really like. And last question from Terrence Walker is, I just want to know, who are you looking forward to in the Europe basketball without borders? I'm thinking Jamal Lawson, but that's familial bias. This is being filmed before the game happens, but so I don't know who did well. I will by the time it comes out, but I don't know who did well at this current moment. So, but my two are Scott Monarch and Jamal Lawson, the two guys that I already recorded with. Yeah, I did interviews with them already, and I really like their attitudes. I really like their games, and I'm really looking forward to see what they can do, because I'm really looking forward to seeing their careers unfold. Also, Skurla, the big man, I want to see how well he does. I forgot who he signed to, but I just want to see how well he does out there on the court. But that's all from me. See y'all. If y'all want to answer some of these questions, let's see it in the chat. Answer some of the questions. Let me see what y'all think about this. Peace.